So we got some new champs announced that are coming in 2.21. So I thought I would pop over and we would take a look at them together. I have scrolled through and seen their pictures. That's it. I don't even know all their names yet. I glanced at them real quick on stream, but I don't know what their skills are or anything. So we're going to hop in and take a look at what new champs we have coming in 2.21 and kind of react to them together. All right. So Autumn has come to Delaria, blah, blah, blah. 22 new champs. That's not all. We will also remove rare skill tomes from Classic Arena and Clan Boss Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare. Okay, fine. All right, so the first one, let me make sure we're getting this lined up here. First one, Ursuga, Warcaller. A new Void Barb Legendary, huh? All right, so we've got an A1, attacks one enemy, 45% chance to block cooldown skills, fine. A2, AoE, decrease crit damage, decrease attack on targets whose attack is higher than their defense. Okay, so basically any attack champ. Places a 30% speed debuff and a defense debuff on targets whose attack is equal to or lower than their defense. Okay. Bottoms up, places ally protection on all allies except this champ. Places a strengthen buff on this champ for 2 turns. Okay, nice. Decreases the damage all allies receive from critical hits by 30%. This champ will receive that damage instead. Interesting. She's gonna take a lot of extra damage. You're gonna have to get her real tanky. That strengthen is gonna help, but you're gonna have to get her real tanky for her to just constantly be taking damage that the rest of the team is taking. I mean, I guess on a really defense-heavy team where the damage is mitigated heavily anyway, potentially some problem there. I bet her HP is going to be... I bet her base HP is going to be crazy. I bet she's going to have really high base HP. Interesting. Alright, next we have the Fusion Champ, who I did a video going over earlier, but we'll take a quick look at him here. We do at least get a picture of his portrait here. That's just like right... Well, it'd be alright. Attacks one enemy with a stun, so we got a little crowd control on the first skill. Removes all provokes from allies as well as 1 random debuff. Places a defense buff for 2 turns on allies who have had debuffs removed. Places shield on all allies as well. A3 is an AoE attack. Removes 1 random buff from each enemy. 75% chance of removing 2 buffs. Places block heal for 3 turns on enemies who have 1 or more buffs removed. Also places defense break on the enemies who have 2 buffs removed. Right. Immune to provoke. Fills the champion's turn meter by 20% each time an enemy attempts to place a provoke. So that's going to make AoE provokes interesting. It's going to be an interesting way to deal with that. Because not only is he immune and gets turn meter when someone tries... Basically, you're not going to be able to AoE provoke the team without giving him 20% turn meter. And then he's going to be able to cleanse them off. 4 turn cooldown. I assume it gets to 3 with books, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see how he translates in gameplay. Next, we have Barath, the Blood-Soaked. She's a new Epic Force Barbarian. All right, so we're getting some barbs, huh? Another HP one. Attacks one enemy 2 times. First hit has a 20% chance of filling this champ's turn meter by 10%. Second hit has a 20% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 20%. Okay. Okay, fine. Attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit places a shield equal to 25% of the damage inflicted on all allies for 2 turns. Second hit heals all allies by 10% of the damage inflicted. Okay, I wonder if mastery procs count in that. And then Serpent Axes. Alright, so Axes. Basic. Attacks one enemy 2 times. First hit has a 71% chance of placing attack debuff. Second hit Okay, so single target attack and defense break. Ascended. Attack break and chance of removing any increased attack buffs. And then I guess the same. All right. Okay, interesting enough. Fun. Seems like a pretty reasonable epic champ. Here, I was kind of thinking that when I saw this picture in the trailer they did, I kind of thought this was going to be a new faction. I didn't expect this to be Skinwalkers, but it is. So there you go. Thane, she is a spirit. I'm assuming it's she. Attack champ. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 35% chance of stealing. Turn meter. 5%. I mean, it's an A1. Okay. A2. 75% chance of placing 2 poisons. 4-turn cooldown. Ascended, chance of placing poisons and an attack down. Interesting. Yeah, I'm assuming you can get it to a 3-turn. I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. Seems like there's some real clan boss potential there on that one. Maybe not as a primary attack down, but as a backup. With the poisons, that's kind of cool. And then A3, attacks one enemy 3 times. First hit has a 75% chance of placing a defense debuff. Second hit has a chance of placing a weaken. Third hit heals this champion by 4% of her max HP for every debuff on the target. So that's basically, in Clan Boss, a full heal most of the time. Not full, but like a lot. A very substantial heal, anyway. Interesting. She's an interesting one. It will be fun to see how she works in Clan Boss, actually. Next, we've got Kaden, a new Dark Elves defense champ. Attacks one enemy, 15% chance of provoke. All right, so we got an A1 provoke. AoE attack break. Okay. And then A3 revives 2 random allies with 50% HP. Ascended revives 2 random allies with 50% HP and places a defense buff on them for 1 turn. Okay. 6-turn cooldown. Be interesting to see what books do to that one. So some potential dungeon support there, I guess. AoE attack down and a revive. All right. Tuhak the Wanderer, new Void Orc epic. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target skills by 1 turn at random. Increase the cooldowns of all of the target skills by 1 turn instead of the champion if this champion has less than 50% HP. Huh. Okay. Attacks one enemy, 75% chance of placing a speed debuff. Also, increase speed on this champ for 2 turns. Heals this champ by 15% of the damage inflicted if they have less than 50%. So, okay, obviously he's designed to be used with having lower HP. Attacks when enemy steals 50% of the target's turn meter. 75% chance of placing a stun. Steals 100% of the target's turn meter if the champ has less than 50% HP when attacking. Okay. Decreases the damage taken by this champ by 20% when their HP drops below 60%. That's a cool passive for the rest of that kit. I don't know why it wouldn't just be 50, but 60's fine. That's an interesting passive. Be interesting to see what tomes do to that one too. Huh. And then an attack aura. Draconis, a new Void rare. That guy wasn't epic. Yeah, all right. New Void rare for the Sacred Order. Attacks one enemy, heals the ally with the lowest HP by 7.5% of the damage inflicted. Unless he scales off HP, that's not really going to be worth much. And even then, probably not worth too much. But whatever, he's a rare. Place a shield buff on all allies equal to 15% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. Okay, nice. Attacks one enemy, removes all debuffs from the ally with the lowest HP. Then heals them. Okay, so a single target cleanse that you don't have to waste not attacking. If he scales on HP, could be interesting. We'll see. Sanctum Protector, new Sacred Order defense champ, rare. 15% chance of stunning with the A1. Second skill AoE. then places defense buff on this champ for 2 turns, attacks all enemies, places defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. It's a 30% defense buff though. Still okay, I reckon though. It's a shame he doesn't buff before he attacks, but whatever. False Bravado, attacks one enemy, 70% chance of placing a provoke. Okay. A3, provoke. Whatever. Avir, the Alchemage. A new dwarf. It's nice to see a new dwarf get added to the game. Attacks one enemy, 30% chance of placing a poison. All right, so a little A1 poisoner. I'll take it. AoE. Decrease attack. Decrease speed on targets under poison debuffs. Okay. Kills a turn meter of all allies by 15% and heals all allies by 15% of this champ's. All right, he's interesting. He's interesting. He's got a little free-to-play flavor, I think. I don't know you'll see anything crazy coming out of him, but he seems interesting enough. Okay, Keister? Keister? New Bannerlord's attack rare. Attacks one enemy, inflicts 30% extra crit damage if this champ has less than 50... Okay, guys. Attacks one enemy, places a 15% increased crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns if he crits, and chance of removing 2 random buffs on target. All right, fine. Let's don't wear the less than 50% HP thing out. Sacred Order rare, Renouncer. Attacks one enemy 2 times, removes 1 random buff from this champ, then attacks one enemy. Heals this champion by damage inflicted. Increase speed, buff on all allies if it's attack. Great. Headsman, new Sacred Order attack, Spirit Champ. Attacks one enemy 2 times, chance of placing a fear. Okay, nice to see a fear. Attacks all enemies, chance of placing a heal reduction. Okay, nice. Inflicts more damage to targets. So a potential Spirit Potion keep rare here. Also some potential for Fire Knight, actually. The heal reduction could come in pretty handy, and then he does extra damage with the heal reduction, and he does have a 2-hitter A1. Maybe some budget Fire Knight utility there. Purgator, little cat alligator. Sacred Order, they're doing a lot of Sacred Order here. Attacks one enemy 2 times, will ignore shield, so some magic keep potential. Attacks all enemies, inflicts extra crit damage for each debuff on this champ. Okay, so kind of like a Hexia type vibe. More debuffs equals more damage. And attacks one enemy, decreases the target's max HP by 20. All right, a little destroy proc, which is not really relevant in this game just yet. So fine. Drowned Bloat Wraith, a new Void Undead rare. Attacks one enemy, 15% chance of placing a stun. The chance of placing a stun debuff increases by 5% for each debuff on the target. Okay. Attacks all enemies. Chance of placing a decreased defense for 2 turns. Also, chance of placing a fear on enemies under decreased defense. Okay. Kills this champ by 15% of their max HP every time this champ or an ally kills an enemy. Okay. Interesting enough. Looks like it could be a cool skin. Solaris, either way, another Sacred Order rare. Man, they are really going hard on the Sacred Order rares. Attacks one enemy, 30% chance of removing a buff. All right, so some magic keep potential again. Attacks one enemy, places a shield buff on this champ equal to damage inflicted, 20%. Attacks one enemy, 75% chance. Bleh, whatever. Wyvern Bane. Cool name, cool looking skin. Could be a cool looking champ. New Orc rare. Attacks one enemy, 20% chance of placing a speed debuff. Attacks one enemy, 35% chance of decreasing turn meter. 75% chance of placing an HP burn. Okay. Could be cool looking. Wagon Bane. Ogre rare. Decrease accuracy debuff on the first turn. Continuous heal on ally with the lowest HP with an attack for A2. A3, attacks one enemy, 75% chance of placing a decrease. Can none of these rares get the good debuffs? Jesus Christ. Oh, with the Ascended. The Ascended gets the 60% decreased defense. Okay. So some turn meter knockback with a defense break. Okay. little potential there. We'll see what the cooldowns look like after books. Could be a little something there, though. Ripperfist. New Orc Void Rare. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Places an attack break. Of course, it's the weak one. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit places a heal reduction if the champ has full HP. Each hit places 50% if the champ has less than full HP. Okay. Passive skill decreases the cooldown of the Rip to Shred skill every time this champion's HP drops below 50%. Ascended version is places an attack buff on this champ for 1 turn and decreases the cooldown. Okay, so maybe again some Fire Knight potential here. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Dolor, Lore Keeper. Another dwarf. Nice to see another dwarf. Attacks one enemy, has a block cooldown skills on the A1. A2 attacks one enemy, 40% chance of placing a stun if the target is under any debuff. A3 places a continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. At least it's 15%. Places a block debuffs on the target ally for 1 turn if they have less than 100% HP. Okay? And then a little HP lead. Alright, I dig it. I dig it. Dune Strider. A new Barb magic rare. Attacks one enemy has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense for 2 turns. Attacks 3 times at random. Each critical hit decreases the target's turn meter by 10%. Will only decrease the turn meter once per target. Okay, we'll take away any potential she had to be used in Fire Knight. Attacks all enemies. Then attacks the enemy with the lowest HP. 75% chance of placing a heal reduction on the enemy with the lowest HP for 2 turns. The Ascended version just puts that at 100% heal reduction. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Another dwarf. Gloral Brute Bane. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 30%. What is the deal, bro? Can any of them get a good A1 defense break? Attacks one enemy. Damage increases by 5% for each debuff on the target. Are they running out of ideas? Attacks one enemy. Places a crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns if this attack is critical. Increases ally resist in all battles. What are you talking about? That's a weird one. And Dilgal. Another dwarf, which I do want to see. Void rare. Attacks one enemy has a 40% chance of placing a speed debuff. A2 is attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing an accuracy debuff. Okay. A3, Big Game Hunter, attacks one enemy 3 times. 40% chance of placing the good defense break for 2 turns. Maybe, if you can get that down to like a 3-turn cooldown with books, maybe it'll be pretty nice. But there you go. So that's a look. And then again, they talk again about the rare tomes being removed from Gold Tier and Nightmare, Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. So, there you have it. There's a list of new champs. It's nice to see the new champs. Some of them look interesting for sure. It's nice to see the dwarves get some additions. They went pretty hard on Sacred Order as well. Some of these epics do look interesting. Fane seems really cool. He also seems kind of like budget dungeon support maybe. It'll be interesting. What's also going to be interesting too is to see how much of the fusion is built up of these new champs. I'm kind of hoping they don't blow their momentum that they have with this fusion. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Interested to know what you guys think about the new champs. I think one of the things I'm most curious about is seeing what her base HP is gonna be, because it's gonna have to be high for her to be able to take all that extra damage. Because Raid's very AoE heavy, you know. She's gonna have to have a lot of HP, I think, to be effective. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about these new champs coming in 2.21, I believe it is. Yeah. Appreciate you guys watching. I'm excited to know what you think, and I'll see you later.